Hey, yo, what's up, Pistons fans? You know who it is. You recognize me. It's Lance Caporossi, host of the 3 Championship Drive podcast, which is what you are listening to. Popping through the speakers, popping through the headphones. I'm here. Going to have a great episode for you guys. I cannot wait. It sucks that the weekend is coming to an end, but man, did I have a great weekend. Got a new weed whip, so that's exciting. Did the entire property, not with a lawnmower, with a weed whip. My forearms are absolutely killing me. They hurt for the second half of the day yesterday when I got done. It was a pain unbeknownst to me. And I'm a gym guy. I like going to the gym. I love working out. I love the process of staying healthy. It's fun. No, it takes more than in the gym. But weed whipping your entire yard. And I mean, I did the entire yard. We don't have grass right now because it's a new property. We're going to wait till next summer to get the lawn done. So it's literally just looks like a wasteland of just brush and debris. We've cleaned most of it up, but you still got a weed whip, even though we put the killer on it. But yeah, my forearms are absolutely killing me right now. I've been stretching them out, doing whatever I can. But man, it's a unique pain for sure. I'm sure you don't want to hear me talk about the yard work I've been doing at the new crib, but I got to share it because why not? It's more fun to open these podcasts with just a little glimpse into my life of what I do Monday through Sunday, and that is weed whip all the time. So Bleacher Report put out a proposed trade between the Miami Heat and the Detroit Pistons. I got to say, before I read off the trade, I'm sure you already know which direction this is going. I don't hate the trade. But the Detroit Pistons would receive Tyler Herro, and the Miami Heat would receive Isaiah Stewart, Caris LeVert, a 2027 first-round pick, and a 2027 second-round pick. And like I just said, I don't actually hate the trade at all. I know it's a gamble. I know that people are looking at Tyler Herro. I'm sure all of us went to Basketball Reference as soon as we saw this proposed trade and just said, dang, Tyler Herro, huh? Last 5 years, he's averaged 21 points a game, shot 46% from the field, 38% from the three on 8 attempts, got to the free throw line about 3 times, averaged 5 rebounds and 4.5 assists with 2 turnovers. He played in 285 games, started 222 of them. That's the last 5 years. Now, if you break those games down, that's about 57 games per year. And the last season he was healthy was in 2024-2025, played 77 games, started 77 of them. It's a gamble. It's a little bit of a risk. I think every trade comes with their own risk, their own unique risk. You see the player, but you could trade. The Pistons could trade for a completely healthy player, someone that plays 65-plus games per year, always healthy for the playoffs. And they could get to Detroit, and for whatever reason, they just fall off. And it can't really be explained. Every player comes with their risk. They could trade for Tyler Herro, and you could say he might play 70-plus games the next 4 or 5 years, every game, and be healthy for the playoffs. You might get that. That's why it's a gamble. I think the reason I love this trade is because he gives us something this team doesn't have, and that is an offensive weapon. He's a 3-level scorer. He can shoot threes. He can attack the rim. He can finish through traffic. He can play the mid-range game. He's not Kyrie Irving level around the basket, but he is really effective when it comes to floaters, runners, just finishing through guys. He's a hell of a player. He's athletic. He's full of confidence. He's someone that you could trust to take the last shot, and it's not going to, if he misses it, it's not going to break him for a few games. He's going to get over it really quickly. That's what I love about his game, is that he's full of confidence. It doesn't seem like he's too unwavered by things. He does have finals experience. He's gone on deep playoff runs with the Miami Heat. He's a hell of a player. And I'm looking at the trade package, and it's really not that much to give up. I would miss Isaiah Stewart. I am a huge fan. I have loved how his game has developed since he was drafted by Detroit. This is one of the best shot blockers in the league. He can shoot the three ball. He plays with a type of attitude that you love from a Detroit Piston. You just love everything about his game. Then you have Caris LeVert, who, you know, he didn't play very well this past season. And he only has 1 year left on his contract. It's not that big of a deal. I wouldn't mind that contract maybe being used for another trade down the line. I get the value of it. Or it could come off the books next offseason. You have like about another, $14 million to play with. 2027 first and second round pick. Not that big of a deal for me because his team's already young. And I believe that Trajan Langdon, I mean, he's already proved that he can find guys outside of the draft with Danis Jenkins. So I'm not really worried about the picks, especially with the new lottery system. I want to see how it plays out. I guess I could see why a team would be worried. But I mean, if you're drafting late in the first round, who cares anyway? So I'm not really that disappointed with the trade. I don't think the trade package is like I don't think it's unfair for either team. I think Detroit, you're getting an all-star guard in Tyler Herro. In Miami, you're eventually getting some cap flexibility, and you're getting a guy in Isaiah Stewart who's on a very friendly contract. Plus, not to mention, you could pair him with Bam Adebayo. You could have him play with Ware. You could have him play with 4 outs. Like, yeah, there's a lot that you could do with Isaiah Stewart. And I personally would love to see him in an Eric Spoelstra offense. I'd love to see a coach like Eric Spoelstra and see what he could do with Isaiah Stewart. I don't think Isaiah Stewart's going to be a Hall of Famer or an All-Star anytime soon, so I don't think the Pistons will be missing out on that much. I mean, I think when you see Isaiah Stewart, this is pretty much as good as it's going to get. Now, why I wouldn't do the trade, it really all just centers around Isaiah Stewart. I mean, this guy is valuable. I mean, he played 23 minutes a game last year. He anchored the NBA's second best defense. He averaged a career high in blocks per game at 1.6. And I'm going to mention it again, his contract. It's 2 years, $30 million left. That's great value for what this guy brings. He knows who he is. And you know what you're getting with him. You're getting a defensive player. You're getting one of the best rim protectors in the NBA. So that's why I'm worried about the trade. It all comes down to Isaiah Stewart. I could forget about Caris LeVert. I can forget about the first and second round picks. Those don't mean that much to me. But to lose your heart and soul of the team, the guy that kind of makes up your identity, that's the hard thing that I'm struggling with. Because I am a fan of Isaiah Stewart. I really don't want to see him go. But if you're getting a healthy Tyler Herro and you're getting something this team needs, ball handling, shot creation, shot making, more outside shooting, a guy that when Cade goes to the bench, the offense doesn't stall, that's what you're getting with Tyler Herro. And I think that's much more valuable. But I don't blame fans for being like, I don't want to trade Isaiah Stewart. He means too much to this team. I get it. There are times, too, that I have to take my fan hat off and just look at this stuff like, dude, is the trade a positive in the Detroit Pistons' favor? And I think it is. It would be hard for you to convince me otherwise. But just to play devil's advocate, I don't want to see Isaiah Stewart go. I've got to watch this guy since he was a rookie. I remember when fans were like, who the hell are we drafting in the first round? And I think if you were to redraft, he goes a little bit higher than where he went. He is very valuable. And I think, and yeah, that's just it. A guy that comes off the bench and he anchors your defense. He gives you a different look offensively. I know it was a little different this year. He didn't shoot as many threes as he should have. But, man, he's just really developed quietly into a good player. And I love the attitude that he brings. I love what he brings to the team. Like, I have to imagine this dude's a good locker room dude. I bet you he's a great teammate. I've never heard anything or seen anything on the floor that just says otherwise. He's a real leader on this team. And it would be hard to replace. I think the Pistons can replace him. I think finding a guy that can protect the rim and shoot threes, I think it's a little easier to find in today's NBA. But, like, man, it's just the nostalgia factor. It's just the fan inside of me that's just like, man, I don't want to lose Isaiah Stewart. Like, we gave him his nickname. You know what I mean? This guy, he's not a special player, but he's a special player to Pistons fans because we've seen the beginning till now. And it's like, there's probably a handful of us that are like, I want to see this guy's entire career being played in Detroit. And again, I don't blame anybody for that. I partially want to see it too. But if keeping Isaiah Stewart means you might make the Eastern Conference Finals once, or you're going to have second round exits, if that's what it means, but if you tell me Tyler Herro comes here and he's healthy and he's playing at an all-star level, which he will bring to the Detroit Pistons, and you're telling me this is a guy that could get you to over the hump and get you to the NBA Finals, I'm taking that 10 out of 10 times. That's what I want. I want to see this team get to the NBA Finals, and I want to see this team win a championship. That's what I want to see. I'm not saying you can't win with Isaiah Stewart on your team. I just think it's easier to find his skill set than it is to find a Tyler Herro. So there's other rumors, I should say, surrounding the Detroit Pistons. Now, this one comes from NBA trade rumors and their sources. Not going to lie, I kind of hate that, because what's stopping me from making an NBA trade rumors account and just saying, hey, the Pistons are interested in LeBron James per sources? What is stopping me from doing that? I understand people don't want to share their sources, but like, it's just, to me too, it's just such a cheap way out, because like, again, you can say the Pistons are interested in anybody that fits what we think as fans they are looking for in free agency. You can say that about a multitude of players. This doesn't really move me in any way, like in terms of the news that this person posted. Am I interested in CJ McCollum? Yeah, 100%. I absolutely love the idea of CJ McCollum in a Detroit Pistons uniform. I wish he was a little younger, but I do value the experience that he brings. But man, if you could get this guy in like his late 20s, that would be something special. But CJ McCollum this past year, he played 76 games. Between Washington and Atlanta, he played 76. He started 60, but he averaged 19 points per game, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 77% from the free throw line, shot 38%, that's rounding up, from the three-point line on 7 attempts, and shot 46% from the field on 15 attempts. Like, this dude, even though he's 34, going to be 35 this next season, and he's looking at playing in his 13th season coming up, this dude is still a killer. He is still a killer in the NBA. I mean, as much as I would love the Tyler Herro trade, if you can keep Isaiah Stewart and then you can just add CJ McCollum to the mix and it doesn't cost you $30 million a year, like if you're talking under $30 million, maybe around 25 because you're not going to cheap him, he's still close to being a 20-point scorer in today's NBA. That's worth it, in my opinion. It's all about the money for me. If you're going to pay over $30 million, I don't think it works. I mean, I'd have to look at the cap space anyways. But if you can get him below that, man, you're talking about a good ball handler, a guy that he can initiate the offense. He can play off of Cade. You can sit Cade. You're not losing anything. Pretty much everything I said about Tyler Herro's game, you can just copy and paste and put for CJ McCollum. The only difference is like 2 inches. Tyler Herro's listed at 6'5". CJ McCollum's listed at 6'3". That's really the only difference. I love CJ McCollum's game. I wish he had been a Detroit Piston a few years earlier. It's like, it's crazy to me to see that he's available. I don't think Atlanta lets him get away because, again, I mean, even though he's 34, going to be 35, he brings a lot to the table. He's a very good player. I mean, you can pretty much plug and play him on any team and he would be successful. But I'm looking at CJ McCollum. I'm looking at free agency. I'm looking at like, how do I get him to the Detroit Pistons? That's the biggest thing for me. And I think this should be the move that the Pistons make. I might be able to say that about pretty much anybody going forward. But as I'm looking at it right now, he is a free agent. He's unrestricted. He was making $32 million a year last year. I think he knows too, like, hey, look, I'm probably not going to get that big of a contract. He'll probably be somewhere in the mid to high 20s. That's perfect. Bring him to the Detroit Pistons. I think he has a fun time in the East. It's a little easier than being in the West. But yeah, if you can, like if it came down between the Miami Heat trade or just signing CJ McCollum this offseason, I'm all in on just signing CJ McCollum. That's my biggest thing. I just think he brings too much to a team offensively for you to pass on him. And I know I've listed already a handful of names since I've been recording this podcast. I mean, there's a lot of guys I love. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of dudes I love in free agency that I think could help out this team. But if you can get someone who is an offensive nightmare like a Tyler Herro or a CJ McCollum, you got to pull the trigger. You 100% have to pull the trigger on bringing one of those guys in. I probably lean CJ McCollum, even though he is older, but just because he plays more games, like he doesn't really have health concerns, in my opinion. Like I've never really heard that about him. I mean, there have been some down years where he's played less than 50 games, but like it's rare that happens to CJ McCollum. It's rare when he's not on the floor. So I'm all in. Tell me what you think. Whether you're listening to this on YouTube or listening to it on Spotify, drop a comment. Are you in favor of Tyler Herro or are you in favor of CJ McCollum? And you can base your reasoning based on the trade that I gave you. If you saw that Bleacher Report propose a trade, if that's the only thing, if it comes down to keeping Isaiah Stewart, but you're interested in both players, you're going to lean CJ McCollum. But if you don't care if the Pistons trade Isaiah Stewart, you're probably leaning Tyler Herro. But I'm telling you right now, I'm cool with either one of these scenarios happening, whether it's signing CJ McCollum or trading for Tyler Herro. I am perfectly fine with either of those scenarios. Now, I know we're all tired of talking about Jalen Duren's contract, and I'm not going to talk too much about it. I'm not going to. But a fan posted a poll on the Detroit Pistons subreddit, and I'm positive fans are tired of hearing me talk about this, and I'm sure some of them just clicked it off or like hit mute and say, why are you talking about this again? But the poll was interesting to me. Now, I don't know the exact number. It's definitely over 1,000 people. It's probably closer to 1,200 people voted on this. But this is how the voting broke down. 332 fans voted would sign Duren to the 5 years, $220 million contract. That's the one I voted on. I'm okay with it. I think he gets better offensively. I think he stays where he is defensively, but I do think he gets to another level offensively. I think now that he's used to teams game planning for him, he's going to redefine his game a little bit. 674 fans want him to go to restricted free agency. And again, I'm not against that. The only thing I would be worried about if you are leaning that way, let's just say the Lakers come in and they say, we're going to sign you to 4 years, $177 million. And you're just like, well, then the Pistons can match and call it good. Here's the thing, though. If you look at $177 million divided by 4, you're looking at an average of $44.25 million per year. Now, if you sign him to, let's just say you sign him to 5 years, $200 million, that's about $40 million. It's a little cheaper year to year to keep him if you get a deal done right now versus letting him go to free agency. I love the idea of having teams dictate the market. It's just when you look at the year, how much money he'd be making on a year, it's actually a better deal at 4 years. And if he does decide to go to a team for 4 years, $177 million, besides the fact that he's getting on average $44.25 million a year, it's that he's also getting closer to that third contract. He has 1 year less on that new deal. He's making more per year, but then he has a chance. So let's just say he goes to the Lakers. He signs for 4 years, $177 million. And then fans are like, okay, well, whatever. He was a 20-10 guy. He played like shit in the playoffs, and we didn't get to go to the conference finals because of him. But then you see him just explode in LA, where he like actually redefines his offensive game. He develops a midi, and he just becomes more of a vocal point on that end, where he's not just a lob catch guy and like a one spin to the hoop, but he develops that more of the game. Then you're looking at his contract where you're like, man, well, 44 is not that bad for 4 years. And now this dude's probably looking at almost $60 million a year. That's like the worst case scenario is if he develops and he gets to that third contract, because he's never coming back to Detroit other than that. So then 318 fans want to side and trade Jalen Duren. I just want to hear names. I know Austin Reeves has been floating around and he would be a good fit. We've talked about him on this podcast before. But who else are you signing and trading with for Jalen Duren? Like, what other name are you trying to bring in that Jalen Duren gets you? I mean, I'm not against the sign and trade. Like, if you're down that bad about Jalen Duren, where you're like, dude, 20-10 doesn't mean anything to me. I don't think he's going to get better. I'm also not trying to be in cap hell where we're paying him this much. I get it. I totally get it. But I just want to know, who do you want to sign and trade him for? Who are the other names out there other than Austin Reeves? Who else can you bring in? But seriously, drop a comment. I want to read what people have to say about a sign and trade with Jalen Duren. And then 66 fans, and I'm glad there's not many fans that want to do this, would just let Jalen Duren walk. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to do a sign and trade. They don't want him to. They want him to test free agents. They don't even want him to test free agency. They just said go to the next team. I'm against that because, again, he's still a 20-10 player. He was all-NBA third team. He was an all-star. He helped the Pistons get to 60 wins. Whether you want to acknowledge that or not, that's what Jalen Duren did. So I'm definitely against just letting him walk. I'm okay with any of the other scenarios. Like I said, I voted in the 5 years, $220 million contract. Again, I'm fine with that. I understand restricted free agency, but when I thought about it more, it's like, it might backfire on the Pistons. You might end up paying him more per year than you would if you just worked out a deal right now. And then sign and trade, I just want to hear what people's ideas are. I just want to know who Pistons fans want instead of Jalen Duren. Are you looking at another big man? Are you looking at a guard that you can go after? Just let me know. That's what I want to know. But I'm definitely against just letting Jalen Duren walk. I think that's absolutely crazy. And you should probably just go play 2K or something like that, then root for the Pistons. So I got one more thing I want to talk about, and this isn't really Pistons related. It's just I have a problem with people that host podcasts and people that write about the NBA. I don't have a problem with people just doing it. It's not that big of a deal. But my problem is when people tote the line. I hate nothing more than when someone's like, oh, my opinion is it might be this or it might be that. It's like, no. You need to pick a side. I got a real problem with this. So there's this writer. I'm assuming he's a writer or he's like a radio show host, but his name is Dan Devine. And this is what he said on the Knicks heading into Game 3. If the Knicks come out for Game 3 against the Spurs with the same mentality, poise, attention to detail, and competitive fire they displayed against Atlanta, Philadelphia, and Cleveland, then this series, this is the problem I have with this, then this series might not be coming back to San Antonio. Oh, really? If the Knicks win 2 more games, it's not going back to San Antonio? Dude, tell me something I already know. Holy crap. This dude most likely gets paid to talk about basketball, and he's so cowardly that he can't even pick a side. Instead, he just walks the tightrope, and that's it. He doesn't actually, I shouldn't even say the tightrope. That's a difficult thing. He's just towing the line. He's teetering on the line. He's saying, it might happen this way. If this all happens, it might happen. Yeah, dude, obviously, that's one of the outcomes. We know this. I don't care about the first half stuff he said. That's fine. But I can't stand when someone doesn't make an opinion and stick with it. Dude, people are going to forget about this 5 minutes after it doesn't happen. I'm someone that said Knicks win in 5, they win Game 1, they lose Game 2, then they win Games 3, 4, and 5. That's what I said would happen in the NBA Finals. Well, guess what? It can't happen now because they won Game 2. They can still win in 5, and people would acknowledge, oh, hey, you called it. Yeah, but my scenario was win Game 1, lose Game 2. But it's not that big of a deal if I'm wrong. And it's not that big of a deal. I'm just glad I was on the side that picked the Knicks because they looked like a better team. And I understand that things could change. There's 4 more games. There's 4 more games left. That's what we're going to say until the Knicks win the next 2. But just to say something like that where it's like, they might not be going back to San Antonio. Bro, dude, there has never been a more cowardly response to something than that right there. Just say it. Stick your chest out and say, hey, I think because of these things, Knicks, they could take the next 2 games. That's all you got to say. That's fine. I get so tired of people. They hold themselves back because they're afraid of the backlash where someone might say, well, actually, you said this. Dude, who cares? Things are changing so rapidly in today's climate that you can say something on Monday, people forget about it on Tuesday. Who cares? Just say it. If you think the series isn't going back to San Antonio because of the Knicks, because of the way the Knicks are playing right now, that is fine to say. Just say that. Don't say these things where it's like, it might happen this way. Yes, we know. We know that could happen. You don't have to spell that out for us. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just say you think the Knicks are winning the next 2 games. That's all you got to say. And I'd have way more respect for you than that crap you put out. So I know I said on the next few episodes I was going to talk about someone at the 21st. I will get back to that on the next episode. These are just the topics I wanted to hit that I thought were interesting. I will get back to talking about draft prospects on the next episode. I might bring up two, just depending on what goes on during the week. But just to recap, at the 21st pick so far, I like Isaiah Evans, and then I like Meleek Thomas. I like Isaiah Evans because he's a movement shooter. He can step into a shot. He doesn't hesitate. He can shoot off the dribble. Like, that is something that I think we could really value. And I understand he's not much of a shot creator, not much of a playmaker. That's fine. He brings a great skill set to Detroit. He can hit open shots. He can hit contested shots. That's really all the Pistons need. That's what I want to see. Then that's what you're going to get from Isaiah Thomas. Now, Isaiah Evans. Now, from Meleek Thomas, you get more of a combo guard. You get a guy that can bring the ball up. You get a guy that looks like he could potentially initiate the offense. Someone that probably closer to being a 3-level scorer than Isaiah Evans is. A guy that can shoot the outside jumper. He can get to the lane. He can finish through contact. And a guy that can hit mid-range jumpers, floaters, and runners. Like, he is, I wouldn't say he's a complete offensive player, but like, there's more to his game than there is to Isaiah Evans' game at the moment. But Isaiah Evans is 6'5", Meleek Thomas is 6'3". Isaiah Evans is someone that he gives you more size at his position. And there's a little bit more defensive potential just due to his size and the wingspan that he has than there is a Meleek Thomas. I think Meleek Thomas, like, you'd be potentially sacrificing a lot for a guard that's probably most likely going to be a sixth man at the NBA level. But either way, those are the two guys so far that I've talked about at 21. I wouldn't be disappointed in either one of them at 21. I understand fans want, like I saw one fan that said, give me a stretch 5. Okay, cool. We'll point them out and we can talk about it. But like, I just think the idea of a stretch 5, it's great. That really is. We do have two guys that are 5s that do shoot the 3 ball in Isaiah Stewart and Paul Reed. I think it's just about maximizing those skills that they have. I don't really think a stretch 5 is that important compared to getting another shot maker and a shot creator for the Pistons. I'm not really worried about if my 5 can shoot 3s or not. I'm more about getting talent in here that can shoot the ball and create a shot. I think those two things are way more important than finding a stretch 5. That's all I have for today's episode. Thank you for listening to the 3 Championship Drive podcast, hosted by me, Lance Caporossi. Do me a favor, subscribe, review, but more importantly, tell a Pistons fan